Plan your writing. Don't launch straight into writing. Start by outlining each point you'll make. Bullet points are handy here. This will give you an overview of the whole piece and let you find the perfect structure before you've even started writing. Remember that each point must contribute to the message or messages you've decided on. When you've got your list, here's what to do next. Declutter. Your ideas will probably come out in bits and pieces at first, with repeated points and topics jumping back and forth. If you find you have two similar points, delete one or bring the best bits of them together until you've only made each point once. It's easier to influence people when your message is clear and simple. Don't include unnecessary information just because you have it. Think about what the reader needs to know for you to get your message across. Ask yourself, would my purpose be harder to achieve without this piece of information? If not, get rid of it. Here's a first go at a plan for a letter of request. I'd like to reduce my working days from 5 to 3 per week. I can adapt to the business's needs by varying my days of work or consolidating a full working week into 3 days. My job isn't as busy now because some of my previous tasks were taken on by others. Therefore, I don't think the business will be negatively affected. However, I've addressed the possible issues below. I can work longer hours over 3 days to achieve the same volume of work. I can work flexibly, changing my working days to meet the demands of the role. I'm open to a job share if the role must be full-time. There is only 3 days worth of work each week, so this is an opportunity to save money. Can you see any repeated points? The second point overlaps with points 5 and 6, and point 3 makes a similar argument to the final point. When we remove repetition, it looks like this. I would like to reduce my working days from 5 to 3 per week. My job isn't as busy as it used to be because some of my previous tasks were taken on by others. Therefore, I don't think the business will be negatively affected by the change, and it's an opportunity to save money. However, I've addressed the possible issues below. I'm willing to work longer hours over the 3 days to achieve the same volume of work. I can vary my days of work to meet the demands of the role. I'm open to a job share if the role must be full-time. The plan is now shorter and easier to understand, meaning it will do a better job of persuading the reader. Put the most important information first. When you've listed your main points, move them around to create a logical order that flows nicely towards your conclusion. What do we mean by a logical order? It normally makes sense to move from the most to the least important information. News articles grab your attention with a striking synopsis. Then they hold your interest by presenting the next most significant information again and again until you reach the end of the story. Of course, what's most important is subjective, and it's based on what you want the reader to do. Start by succinctly summarising your message before you go into detail. In the flexible working request plan, the first paragraph states exactly what the writer is asking for so that it's clear what each of the following arguments supports. Remove the guesswork for your reader for a better chance of getting what you want. This also applies to promotional writing. How would you begin an advert about waffle makers? With the thing that's most important to the reader, of course, the benefit. If you don't show someone what's in it for them straight away, they'll lose interest before they even know what you have to say. So begin with the benefit, like, have fresh waffles on your plate in minutes, to motivate your reader to stick around for more detailed information like technical features. We'll look at discussing benefits in promotional writing later on. It's a good idea to go back to your opening paragraph at the end of the writing process to make sure it clearly, concisely, and engagingly sums up what you're about to say. It's hard to get introductions right before you've written anything else. After all, you wouldn't introduce someone you'd never met before. You can also write headings, including email subject lines, at the end for the same reason. What if you're following a set format, such as a report with pre-titled sections? The structure we've just looked at is still helpful. Within each section of your report, You'll get the best engagement from your reader if you make the most important point first, discuss this, then move on to less significant information. Of course, there are formats that don't suit this structure. This includes incident accounts that follow the order in which something happened, and instructions that follow the order in which something should happen. Write up your plan. When you're happy with your structure, it's time to turn your points into paragraphs. Paragraphs begin mini chapters in your writing, with each one exploring a new idea. Make only 1 point per paragraph so that your reader can take in each one properly. For example, thank you for choosing Life of Pi for your conference catering. Feedback is very important to us as it means we can adapt our services to our customers' needs. It shapes everything from the menu we offer to the way we serve guests. Would you mind taking this 2-minute survey to tell us about your experience? The first paragraph says thank you, the second explains how important feedback is, and the third asks the customer to fill in a survey. If you introduce a new point to an existing paragraph, you risk the reader losing their train of thought.